which is a great credit to our department and to our chief.
Are you confident that your administration right now, you are running clean government, open government, and corrupt-free government?
Yes, absolutely. And that's a battle we fight every day, changing a culture and changing practices that have been in place for a long time is never easy work. There are a lot of people who benefit from the old system, and we have to keep forging ahead and protecting the work that we've done. But I'm very proud of the work that we've done. I'm very proud of the integrity of the people who are part of my administration. And when we find instances where people have violated that, I take action. And we had employees who violated that trust by not doing their jobs in the Public Works and Parks Department. They're fired. It's no longer the case that they get transferred and excuses are accepted. That will not be and is not tolerated.
Susan in Cranston on WPRO with Mayor David Cicilline. Go right ahead, Susan.
Good morning. Great to speak to you.
Oh, wow.
Thank you very much.
You go to the play tonight?
What's the play?
What's the play,
Lincoln
Susan?
School's a great school. Oh, thank you.
Swing by, maybe?
I'll try to swing by, absolutely.
All right. Susan in Providence on WPRO with Mayor Cicilline. Go right ahead, Susan.
Good morning.
We kind of covered that a little bit already in depth.
Yeah, I mean,
I really, no offense, just due to time restrictions, you essentially following the recommendations from.
yeah, there's a search committee headed by Norm Richter that's identifying a new tax collector, putting the tax adjustments online at providencesunshine.com. I submitted an ordinance that will allow people to appeal their decisions to the same thing to the Board of Tax Assessment Review.
What is the situation with the firefighters? Do they have a contract? Do they not have a contract? How can they still not have a contract, but the contract never seemingly ends? Like, even when the contract ends, it never ends.
Under the state statute, that even though a contract is expired, until a new contract is agreed to, the terms of the old contract remain in full force and effect.
For how long?
So that's the problem.
And
the problem is because of that statutory provision and because of the arbitration statutes, which essentially require arbitrators to look at the current practices, it really does protect the status quo, which makes change very hard. But we're in negotiations again with the firefighters and obviously concluding some arbitration hearings. I'm very committed to ensuring that we have contracts which are fair to our employees, that provide good wages and good benefits, but that are also affordable to the taxpayers of this city. And some of the contract provisions that are in this old contract, which I did not negotiate, which was negotiated before I took office, provide for things which are no longer affordable to the taxpayers of this city.
Will it ever end?
Yes, absolutely.
It will.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before we let you go, what do you think of the whole controversy with Miss California and gay marriage?
I obviously support gay marriage. I've been very clear about that. It's unclear to me.
Are you disappointed that it's seemingly Rhode Island is going to be the only New England state not to have it?
Yeah, I think Rhode Island has a long history of fighting against discrimination at every level, and I have every confidence that we will join the rest of the New England states and ultimately the country in saying discrimination of any kind is wrong, including in the context of marriage. So it'll happen.
Donald Trump said that she has the same position as President Obama. Are you disappointed that the president doesn't?
Yes, I am. I think the president has articulated his support for civil union and has expressed his opposition to the Defense of Marriage Act, which is essentially saying the federal government should remain out of this area, which I think, of course, is right. But I think this is a simple question of equality, of ensuring that people are not discriminated against based on sexual orientation, and that everyone has access to this important institution of marriage.
Final word before you go? Anything else you want to tell everyone listening?
Thank you. And I'd also like to say that I'm involved in a real effort to ensure that our colleges and universities and hospitals,
right. My goodness. How could he escape without that?
Yeah, do their fair share and do more, and looking at both what are the income-producing properties that the tax-exempt owns. What is
How did you come up with 150 per semester?
The idea of also asking students from the private colleges and universities to make a contribution to the well-being and future prosperity of the city that they're a part of, as a way of saying we all have a responsibility to the city that we love. We can't go back to the Providence local taxpayers again. This is about everybody doing more, everybody doing their part. the student pay fees that are, laundry fee, technology fee, graduation fee, health fee. There are many of those fees that are in the range of $150, $200, $250. So the idea of taking a student impact fee or student assessment fee, which is similar to some of the other fees they pay, as a way to compensate their host community for the services that are provided to private college and university students, I think is something we need to talk about, as well as figuring out a way for college and universities themselves to make a greater contribution, either through the voluntary pilot agreement, either through that, or taking some of their tax income-producing property and assessing some cost to that. But look, the tax exempts are almost.
The colleges say, hey, wait a minute, you came to us a few years ago, we agreed we're going to donate, now you're going to shake down our students.
It's not a question of shake down. Look, this is about everybody doing their part, doing their fair share. The taxpayers of the city have done more than their fair share. Tax-exempt property represents almost 50% of the real estate in the city. We cannot sustain that, and we've got to come up with some new models where those tax-exempt institutions, which are really important to the economy of our state, but whose principal beneficiary is the state in income and sales taxes, and not the local property taxpayers. And so we've got to come up with some new models to increase the contributions of these tax-exempt organizations so that burden doesn't get shifted down to local property taxpayers.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with Mayor David Cicilline. Again, we'll try to squeeze in another phone call, 438-WPRO, 1-800-321-WPRO. Mayor David Cicilline on News Talk 630 WPRO and 99.7 FM.